Guys, today we're going to take a look at Bowie, the Brazilian rainbow boa. Just wanted to thank everybody who's watching this. If you'd throw me a quick like and subscribe, it would mean the world to me. And then throw a comment on there about what you'd like to see in the next video. I am super open to, going with the way my fans want this to go. So hit a like and subscribe and comment, please. Let's take a look at Bowie. All right, folks. First off, I'd like to give a huge shout out to Tracy Harden, who is who I got Bowie from. Actually, I have a hydrometer temperature sensor that goes off to a device, so I can just basically constantly monitor. Rainbow boas have a incredibly high requirement for husbandry, which is basically just how you take care of them. So hopefully we'll be able to capture some of Bowie's beautiful iridescence here. She is a super gentle. Look at how beautiful she is. Try and capture some of that rainbow effect for you guys. Behind me I have some clay pebbles and some, we're not going to be using that super moss with Bowie. I've got peat moss for that. But just look at how beautiful she is. Look at, she's inquisitive, taking a look at this camera. So we're gonna get Bowie all weighed up. So let's go ahead and get her on here. She's about 99 grams. So Bowie's actually about a year old. Rainbow boas don't grow a whole bunch, so she is pretty tiny. She'll get about 5, hopefully 6 foot. So this is who we're making this beautiful enclosure for. So isn't she wonderful? One of my favorites. So these boas have these high oranges on their back. They get this silver siding, and then they have these kind of crescent moons is what a lot of people refer to them as on here. And I wish I had a little brighter light. Could see some of that rainbow effect in here. So in the daylight, she's just absolutely stunning. So let's get this enclosure set up so she can have a little bit bigger home. All right, so first we're gonna start with our clay pebbles here. I actually got these at Earl May locally. I didn't even have to order them online, and they're incredibly cheaper when you get them in bulk like this. It looks like I got about 40 liters. So I'll make this quick. They're just gonna make a nice layer for our water to drain off in here. So might need a couple of them. We're gonna make about a 1-inch layer in here. So I'm gonna make a couple. Just want to spread it out and one nice layer. So where all of our water is gonna run off. Once we have a thick layer of hydro balls in there, is what I call them, hydro balls. We're gonna basically take this and we're gonna get it all tucked in here. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect by any means. This is just to separate the dirt from the hydro balls and keep the roots of the plants that are gonna get planted in here from seeping through. So we're gonna get that tucked in. Now that we have the lining down, it's going to come down to the soil. So sand, right? Sophagum peat moss, which is really just broken down sophagum. I'm going to use a really light powdered coconut fiber, and we're going to use an organic, just good top soil. And then here's a little bit of sophagum I've been growing. Nice, all in one piece. It's just basically moss. And then I'm gonna actually mix in a little lawn seed. It's gonna help, it grows in sun and shade, and that's just overall gonna do that. So I'm gonna mix about a third, and then just taper in a little bit of all this other stuff. All right, so healthy dirt mixture here with my sophagum, the topsoil, some grass seed, and ultimately a little bit of sand to help it run off. I never pour it directly in here. You want to just kind of lightly do it on the top. That way to make sure that this isn't getting disturbed. I did tuck it in, so I'll do a light brushing over it, and then I'll really start to kind of add more and more. But you just want to be real careful to pack it in around the edges. All right, so what I did here, I took a couple plants out of their pots, right? I shook them, basically watered them, so I got just under the roots. I made an indentation, and I'm gonna get around here just a little bit, right? So that way they can be as flush and level, so I can take up as much of this top space as I can, right? I'm gonna nestle it in, and then I'm gonna just give it a light fill up to the dirt line. I'm gonna pack it in a little bit, and then I'm gonna get all my other plants in first, just so I make sure that I like the proper arrangement. You don't wanna get them settled in too much and decide that you wanna move them around. So, all right, now that we have all of our plants properly in place, we're gonna give it a little light mist. This is to help activate both the grass seed and as well as help the root systems. I'm gonna give it a nice dousing. Remember, it's supposed to be a nice humid environment in here, so plants love it. That's what the hydro balls are for, to make sure it doesn't get overwatered. So guys, without you and without Bowie here, none of this would have been possible. Just super thanks to all of you for enjoying this video. Look at this beautiful animal here, having a beautiful environment. So y'all get to see her first reaction with her new enclosure here. And well, there she goes. Guys, that takes us to the end of the video here. I have Chanel here as eye candy for you. As promised, Kyle Robert, you asked, how do snakes mate? And snakes actually have, on the very ends of their tails, if she'll cooperate here, a cloaca, and they both use it for facilities for reproduction as well as excretion, and they basically twist their tails together, and I figure you can kind of guess it from there. They kind of just lock their tails together, and they kind of wind them around. We'll do some episodes on that for sure in the future. Thank you for your question, Kyle. And then Tyler Hogate asked the question, where to start? So if where to start, if you mean how to start keeping or where to start with snakes, careful when you start. You might not stop. You might end up with a whole collection. Honestly, the best way to start is to reach out and see. I can help you figure out what snake is going to suit you best for your wants and needs, and for basically, the requirements for the animal as well. Ball pythons like Chanel here are one of the easiest ways to get started, and certainly how I fell in love with serpents in general. So I definitely can get you plugged in for that. Tyler, thank you for your question. Guys, I'll see you in the next video, which is still a surprise. I have no idea what I'm doing yet. So go ahead and throw a comment down there, like and subscribe, please, and throw a comment for what you'd like the next video to be. Look at this beautiful little, look at this snake. Look at her.